For RealWear, we make this wearable technology. Kyle will go into that in a little bit more detail during the demonstration. But first, I want to start out and ask, can you raise your hand if you've ever put on a VR headset? Perfect. Who's played Pokemon Go on their phone?
Who still plays Pokemon Go on their phone? I got it.
Perfect. Today, RealWear is a pioneer in the assisted reality field. We are not augmented reality. We are not a virtual reality company. Move that up. I'm going to set that down over there. But yeah, thank you, Network Center, for hosting this event. Thank you all for attending. And we will do a quick PowerPoint, and then we'll get into the fun stuff for a live demonstration. RealWear was founded in 2016. Our headquarters are in Vancouver, Washington.
Do you have a clicker?
I do. I clicked the wrong thing.
There.
Perfect. So RealWear was founded in 2016. We were founded in Vancouver, Washington. We build these products, and we built them for a specific reason, to give frontline workers the ability to pull up information and to do their jobs more effectively and be hands-free while they're doing it. So they don't have to take off their gloves. They don't have to turn back to a tablet or computer. We provide a full computing device. It's fully, sorry about that. We provide a device. It's standalone. You don't need additional battery packs. You don't need additional accessories. And today, 41 out of the Fortune 100 companies are using our device. With RealWear, our goal is to bring hands-free technology to frontline workers around the globe. We've deployed over 80,000 devices across the globe to 5,000 plus industrial customers. And being a global company, we need to accommodate the languages that are used locally. So we have 23 different languages that are accepted with a device and 4 different dialects of English. We have over 100 application partners, software companies, that have optimized their existing applications or built an application for our device. Some of the larger ones being Microsoft, TeamViewer, and Zoom. And we have over 5 hardware partners that we've partnered with that have added accessories and functionality for our device. We can ship around the globe. Like I said earlier, our headquarters are in Vancouver, Washington, but we also have offices in Amsterdam, Bangalore, Dubai, and Singapore. So the swim lane that we swim in, it is not in the deep end like virtual reality. It's assisted reality. Now, virtual reality is a fully immersive digital environment, great for training. And who has the Oculus at home? Who has seen those videos where you're wearing an Oculus, somebody runs into a TV screen or punches a wall? Right?
My wife's aunt chipped her 2 front teeth on a fireplace mat. You gotta be careful with that.
Absolutely. And enterprise VR really is for training, for that immersive environment in a controlled scenario. Mixed reality is digital content is placed within the physical world and you can interact with it. So think of like the HoloLens 2. You're able to manipulate objects in the real world digitally, and that's great for prototyping, advanced design, some very specific training procedures. And then augmented reality today, it's very common on phones and tablets. Great for visualizing that digital content, but not necessarily being able to interact with the level you are in mixed reality. Assisted reality provides information in a heads-up display that you're able to recall at a moment's notice and be 100% hands-free. And that's what our devices do and are able to do. And then the real world, everyone knows that. So our product suite. The first products we launched were in 2017. This is our 2nd generation of devices. We have the Navigator 500 and the Navigator 520. That's the core product that we sell. We also have a Navigator Z1 that is an ATEX intrinsically safe Class 1, Div 1, and Zone 1 device. So going into the core products here, the only difference between those two devices is the Navigator 500, the focal display. That equivalent is a 7-inch tablet at an arm's length away, while the 520 is a 10-inch tablet at an arm's length away. They're all voice activated, they're ruggedized, so they're mil-spec 810G, IP66 rated. They connect to Wi-Fi, they can be connected to Bluetooth as well. And they all leverage the same applications available via our App Store or App Marketplace. We also have RealWear Cloud. It is our IT administrative dashboard. It's how you manage devices, how you push applications over the air, and how you can also see some reporting capabilities. Now, it is not meant to replace your Enterprise Mobility Management System or MDM. It's meant to be used in conjunction with that, if at all. So why would you use wearable technology? Well, it's called for by the different job tasks. You wouldn't use our device for virtualization. You wouldn't use a VR headset on a manufacturing floor. You really need to look at a couple of different factors, including the environment, the end user, what is that specific job task that's going to be completed, and what software is compatible and can accomplish that. So when you look at the environment, do you need a special certified device? Like on an oil rig, that would be a great use case for the Navigator Z1. Or is it going to be outside? Is it going to be mobile? What's that end user? What kind of personal protective equipment do they wear? Are they wearing gloves? Do they wear glasses? Are they out on a road or next to a wall on a mine? The job task, the software, and then really the device. So in this AR, VR hardware industry, there is really no best device that can accomplish everything. It's the right device for the right job. So when you think about our device, it's an Android tablet in a different form factor. When you buy an Android tablet today, what does it come with? It comes with the ability to take photos, to record videos, and comes with a document storage system. With our device, you can take photos, record videos right out of the box. You also have 64 gigabytes of storage locally that you can leverage to put manuals, PDFs, diagrams. But the real functionality of our device comes with software from our software partners. So we have a couple standout use cases, like a remote mentor, providing expert knowledge remotely, a hands-free video call, industrial IoT data visualization, so pulling up real-time data from analytics on the plant floor, digital workflow applications, step-by-step digitizing a job, or you can put in verification steps as well, and then order picking, so vision picking, using our device as a heads-up display. Another great use case that can kind of be local functionality is just putting this device on an expert and having them go through a specific procedure. As they go through that specific procedure, they're able to record themselves to dictate what they're doing.
Training.
Yeah, training. Oh, yeah. Interesting. So remote expert guidance is by far our most advertised and most utilized use case. It allows for a worker to call someone else, a group, anywhere else in the world, at any point, any time. And it allows for that person who's making that call to get that expert guidance to solve a specific problem. Whether that is the coach, like with Mars, they're able to reduce their coach's travel by 35%. Or with Hirschman Automotive, able to improve collaboration with their factories. Another great point that we've done with companies. Dealer services. Nissan North America has deployed devices to about 200 dealerships. They've increased the first-time fix rate at every one of those dealerships, and they're able to resolve problems through their tech line 6 to 7 minutes faster and in one call instead of multiple. It allows for workers to be more connected and more empowered to do their jobs and do it effectively. These are just 3 examples of remote expert guidance. A lot of our software partners do focus on this. Digital workflow applications. So taking a step-by-step procedure, putting it on our headset, integrating it with existing document storage systems, or SAP, to streamline task execution, reduce errors, and improve data accuracy. By keeping workers hands-free, RealWear enables faster, safer completion of complex tasks in real time. The main benefits that you're going to see are error reduction, faster task completion, increased data reliability, because instead of having to turn around and input that onto a computer, they can say it in real time, right there, and not lose their line of sight, while still having a hands-free operation. Another use case that we're seeing a lot of growth in is vision picking, or pick by vision. Essentially, it's the management of inventory in logistics settings. So using our device as a heads-up display and pairing it with a ring scanner or wrist scanner, you're able to document where goods are, how they move through a specific process, or get distributed. We've had a lot of success with a couple very large names like DHL, Samsung, and Coca-Cola Hellenic. The key benefits people are seeing are hands-free operation, improved accuracy because it's a heads-up display. It'll highlight things in green or red if they're correct or not. Increased speed because they don't have to look away. And enhanced productivity. And now we're going to get to the fun stuff.
Cool. Thank you, Mike. I'll take it from here. I am going to do a live demo here, and I'm going to talk through some of the many use cases he mentioned through a few different application layers, but in the context of one specific persona. Think about one job task. Imagine that I'm a maintenance manager in a manufacturing facility, and I put this thing on my head, and I'm going to show you a few of the multifaceted ways that this can help me through that task, whether directly as a self-help tool for diagnosis, for filing an incident report using large language model AI, for calling for remote assistance if I still don't know how to fix the issue and the conveyor belt broke down. I'm going to walk through all that. Like I said, they say seeing is believing, but really wearing is believing in our case. So if you get a chance after all this, come see us at the table, get to try it on for yourself, because it really makes a difference. You can take our word for it, you can see us seeing it, but until you see it, you start controlling it, you're never going to get that smile. Right? I am going to plug in over here, not because I need to function the device. Flashlight on. Flashlight on. For instance, it works hands-free, as he mentioned. It is a full self-contained computing device. I'm only hooking into the computer so that you can see what I'm seeing on screen simultaneously. It looks like we're maybe extending the display.
Are you able to?
I could change that.
Switch it to duplicate. Sorry about that.
No, that's all good. I thought it was, but yeah, that was probably my fault. Bear with us. It's not doing that same drag thing. Let's see. Why isn't that working?
Are you able to drag the application over to the other window?
I could try. I just don't know which direction. Oh, there it is. Okay. Right on.
Will that be all right?
That's perfectly fine. Thank you. Get it over there. There we go. All right. And we're going to have some time for Q&A as well at the end here. So I'm going to pull this up. I'm going to make this a bit bigger. If I can find my mouse. Gosh, that's hard to reach. There we go. Okay. This is my device home screen. This is what I see. It's fully customizable. I can put my own company logo at the top. I can put whatever apps I want on the home screen. I can even have apps launch at boot automatically if you want this to be more a one-trick pony or kind of a kiosk mode. So all I got to do is put it on and that app will launch. In this case, I've put one app on that screen. Usually those first 4 are what you typically see. But what I want you to think of when you think about this device is it's an Android tablet, and I know it looks nothing like an Android tablet. As mentioned, if you dropped an Android tablet from where I dropped it, it might not hold up as well. The device itself, it can be worn on either eye. So everyone has a dominant eye, whether you know it or not. I didn't expect mine to be left since I'm right-handed. It's not corresponding to that at all. To wear it on either eye, you can flip the boom arm around and simply flip the device over, and everything's going to flip around and reorient. Now, the intention of that orientation is really in the bread and butter of our noise cancellation algorithms. We have 4 digital microphones on the display itself, or on the device itself. So there's one here on the bottom of the display that's listening for the user. There's another here, and another here that are all doing active noise cancellation. What that means for our device and its industrially purposed design, it has 98% speech recognition accuracy in up to 100 decibel environments. So you could be right next to an extremely loud piece of machinery and you could be controlling it with your voice. You can be on a remote call with somebody in an engine room on a giant freighter vessel and you can be talking to somebody else and they won't know you're not sitting in a quiet office while they're helping you troubleshoot through an issue. So when compared directly to an iPhone, like we've done at a Harley-Davidson facility, you can see that video for yourselves online. It's night and day difference. So that's a huge part of the benefit of this device to start. Secondly, another really competitive piece is battery life. Under normal use, you get 8 to 10 hours of battery life on this battery, but even better than that, it's hot swappable. So I can pop this thing out, pop another one in from my pocket. I can hand it off to the next person that can roll around 3 8-hour consecutive shifts and never actually power off. Right? The device is still functioning. I could still be on a troubleshooting call and I get that warning saying, oh, I only got 5% battery left. Pop it out, pop a new one in, no sweat. I don't need to stop what I'm doing. Again, efficiency is key. Separately, from a design standpoint, we talked about augmented reality, we talked about virtual reality. All those things are immersive. They all have their place. From a training, a visualization, design perspective, they're all fantastic. We've all played maybe the Fragments game on the HoloLens and just had a blast. There are applications for those things in the field, but where we come into play is where I'm in a critical situation, I need the use of my hands free. Maybe I'm wearing gloves, so maybe the gesture control doesn't really work very reliably. Again, the ruggedness of being able to take that 2-meter concrete drop and be okay. But also just by design, not obstructing my field of view. Being able to move this and manipulate this. We have surgeons wearing it up here as they're operating down here. We have people that are using it as a lower dashboard. And we have other people that have just memorized some of the speech commands to control, and they'll flip it in the back and switch the microphone array to the rear microphone. So I could still say, flashlight on, flashlight on. So you got to memorize the commands first. Flashlight on. There we go. Flashlight off. So you have a lot of flexibility there. We have certain EHS groups even certifying this for use on fork trucks. We can't say you can do that. We don't advise you operating any machinery while wearing a device like this. But that's up to you guys to decide because it is flexible. It is able to be moved around, worn farther away for use with PP, et cetera, et cetera. So I will kind of pause there because you don't really use the buttons on the side other than to change language because you can't change language if it's in another language using only your voice. That gets a little complicated. And other than that, it really is hands-free. You get it locked in position and you're free to go. So instead of tapping like you would on a touchscreen device, which is kind of what this looks like, you just say whatever you see on screen to make a selection. So if I wanted to say, my camera, it opens up the camera application and I can see all of you. Right. Spotlight was blurring you guys a little bit there. If I say, thermal camera, we in partnership with Fleer Thermal have a module that takes the place of the standard camera, has that 48 megapixel camera, but can do a live thermal reading. So I can read the temperature of all the people in the room here. I can see the hottest components in the room very easily. I can change color mode. Calibrating. Color mode.
Calibrate every so often.
Select item 9. And that's quickly going to detect the hottest elements in a room. So I can quickly monitor hotspots on a piece of machinery, right? Kind of from a preventive maintenance sort of proactive approach. Now say that something does break down. Say I'm at a manufacturing plant, my conveyor just went down abruptly, and I need to troubleshoot that. Well, I got this thermal camera handy. Now say I want to file an incident report, and I don't want to spend time at the end of my work shift having to write that down or then digitize it and try to remember all the details of what exactly happened. And say maybe I don't speak all the right language. Maybe it depends on what large language model that you're leveraging and how that speaks your corporate lingo. But I could launch the RealWear AI application, which is free to use right now, to leverage an incident report or create an incident report specific to my manufacturing persona. That's using my Office 365 credentials, so I generate a report, and that's going to send to me in Teams. That could all be customized to send to any system of record on your back end that you want to. I'll show you what that looks like here. Navigate home. My programs. RealWear AI. Incident report. Yeah, so I'm in manufacturing plant 3. It looks like conveyor line C just broke down abruptly. I'm going to check it out now. I did see a hotspot on one of the bearings the other day, but I'll have to get a closer look. So that's going to refine that, take out all my ums and uhs and whatevers, and make it a little more comprehensible. Now I can say, refine. It might ask me a targeted question based on the content that I provided it. Answer question. No, there were no specific warning signs. Some people have responded to what they say is maybe a funky odor, maybe something's burnt out, maybe there's some burning rubber or plastic or something. Again, we'll have to take a closer look. That's just going to add some additional content there. It's going to refine what that action item is. I can then take a photo. I can open that thermal camera, take a photo of where I think the issue lies, and I can say, send report. So very straightforward, very easy. Again, free to use out of the box. It's the RealWear AI application, but really a capability to demo to kind of demonstrate what you can do with AI, right? We have a lot of people using apps like IBM Inspector Wearable to do quality checks, where they're looking at a piece of equipment that's coming off the manufacturing line, and they have some golden sample where they've trained a model based on a series of images, and they can pull that off the line and quickly detect defects on that piece of material with annotated visual cue, right? So I know what to pass or fail based on machine learning, as opposed to just based on what I know inherently. If it's my first day on the job, it's going to make my life a lot easier, right? Navigate home. Now on the collaboration side, I do want to say now I got to go in and fix this issue. And at this point, I'm going to give Mike a call. There's a few different options, but we're just leveraging Microsoft Teams meetings because pretty much everyone in the world has licenses for those with the corporation if you're a Microsoft shop. I can just say, collaborate. Now I have my list of Teams meetings here, but I also have this quick connect option that we built with RealWear. That is a plugin for your Teams application on your desktop or iOS or Android. So I could just message this 5-digit code either via Teams, either via text message or email to Mike. He can actually see it on my screen, so we're going to shortcut that a little bit. And he's going to type that in on his computer. And Mike, why don't you actually do it on this switch here? Oh, we can't put that on HDMI. So you can just hold that up and show people. Yep. So he's calling me. I got an incoming call. I'm going to say, accept. I'm going to fill that. Walk this way so that we don't get any weird audio feedback issue. But if you can see his computer screen
So
over
now
there.
we're seeing a live video stream from that headset.
So this can have as many collaborators as you can have in a Teams call, right? Think of this from a training perspective. You want to do a procedure, give them that first person point of view while you're physically doing the job. Like a GoPro on steroids, but now you're in a Teams call. You got 100 people all seeing what you're doing in real time. All able to highlight that. And you have multiple of these devices all in this call as well. We can toggle between them if you're kind of a floor manager and you wanted to toggle between the views. You got a security team walking the grounds, and you can toggle between them. Just think about that. The ideas are really honest. Thermal camera. And just the same as before, I can toggle on that thermal camera, and that streams right into a Teams call today. So he can help me troubleshoot that. So I'll pause there. There was a few other things that I kind of brushed over. and other things you can do out of the box. When taking photos, videos, or if you have multi-page PDFs, single-page detailed diagrams and things like that, it's all a matter of pulling it up. You have the ability to zoom in, zoom levels 1 through 5. Sure. You have the ability to zoom in levels 1 through 5, and from that point it uses your head tracking to actually navigate to different areas of the document, at which point you can freeze it, continue your work moving about hands-free. You don't have to stay stable for too long. Right? So, pretty powerful stuff, and again, this is just to highlight all the stuff that you can do essentially for free and or leveraging existing Microsoft license with our devices today. As Mike also mentioned, there's over 200 partners that have built other optimized solutions for our device, and there are more doing it every day. So if there is software that you're using on a handheld tablet, or if you're still in the ages where you want to get away from pen and paper, why not take that extra step and go completely hands-free? We're happy to talk more about it, about your specific use cases, and see where the conversations can go from there. Net Center's been a great partner, and we're happy to get some calls scheduled. We also have a deal going on right now, or if you do schedule a call with the Net Center rep and or with ourselves, you're entered to win one of these bad boys for free, so you might as well take advantage of it. But I'll pause there, and I think we'll open it up for any questions. Leave meeting.
Can you take a picture with it and see what kind of like, the quality is? Like,
Sure.
How nice is the quality of the photos and videos?
Yeah, so typically this is a 48 megapixel camera. And what that means is we're typically doing a 12 megapixel generated image with what we call pixel binning. Sorry, I'm not using the microphone again. We're using pixel binning. It's 48 megapixels generating 12 megapixel image. And what that means is we're taking the light essentially from 4 pixels and combining it into 1. And that gives you really great low light performance for the generation of those 12 megapixels. So if I were going under the hood of a car or underneath the carriage of the car, somewhere really low lit, like with your iPhone, you walk into that dark room, you're going to see it illuminate quite well. We also have a telephoto capability with that, where we can zoom past what we call zoom level 5 for quite a more severe digital zoom, and that's going to give you that full resolution, but that low lighting kind of dips down a little bit.
So is it good for advertising? Like if you were to take a photo with it and you wanted to use it for any marketing, like if you wanted to take pictures for...
You certainly could. We've done it before.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I think that all comes down to like how well lit the room is and what the subject is. Yeah, I think the camera's good quality in that respect, definitely. Yes, you can play video games on it if you really want to, but you can also lock it down with Intune or your EMM or MDM provider to prevent your workers from sloughing off on the job. I knew you guys were all thinking it. No. It is absolutely customizable in so much as it's an Android tablet. So RealWear Cloud, right, there's no Google mobile services. So there's no Google Play Store. So you can't just put any old app on it because it's probably not fully optimized for voice. That said, if you are an Android developer, all you have to do is develop for native Android. We actually just have a couple snippets of code you put in there to optimize your speech commands and just consider the form factor, the size of the display, what it looks and feels like to the user, and how that flows. No custom SDK. So if you want to build inbuilt applications or you have existing Android applications, those will all work on it, and you can customize it to your heart's content in that respect from a software layer perspective. Yeah. If you have any more questions on that afterward, we can elaborate on that further. Sure.
Yeah. What like on the hardware side of things? Do you like replace the camera with something different?
Yeah. So actually, this camera didn't even come with the device. This is the thermal camera upgrade. It's a separate accessory. It still comes with a 48 megapixel camera, but this has that IR sensor in it. So that camera disconnected, you could put a non-camera flush cover in certain sensitive environments. People can't physically have a camera in that lab environment, and so they need to remove it completely because having that red recording light is simply not enough. They're not allowed to take footage. So we have an option for that. What you're seeing on my head, too, I didn't even mention the accessory side of thing. I know you mentioned PPE, but this is what we call a work band. Looks like a visor without a brim. We make clips to clip into MSA, Honeywell, 3M hard hats, whatever style hard hat you have, this is compatible with and is much more integrated, evenly weight distributed. You barely even know it's there, especially if you're already wearing a hard hat. works with bump caps. We have a FlexBand silicone for clean room environments. Really, the sky is the limit in terms of the compatibility from an accessories and wearable standpoint. So that hardware component is also customizable.
Any other questions? One thing I might add is we have a customer locally, service, I guess you could call it, equipment dealer. They service equipment all over the upper Midwest, a lot of rural equipment, and they have a hard time getting a high-end technician out to troubleshoot more than your basic problems. So the thought process is that the technicians that are more local could wear the wearable device and have the higher-end person in Fargo, Bismarck, wherever they're located, walk them through how to fix something instead of having to drive, to Duluth or wherever it may be. So not just cool, but very, very strong use case and ROI for them.
Yeah. No, and a great point is that while we talk a lot about the ROI from a business perspective, the important thing about something like this is how much simpler, how much safer, how much easier and more efficient it makes the end user's job and how that's beneficial to them. Having that information, right? This is not just a big brother headset so that somebody else can watch what I'm doing at all times. This is much more high utility, high purpose for me, upskilling me faster, providing me with the content I need to be successful, and more efficiently getting the job done so I can go be home with my family, my children, whoever.
I'm not seeing any other questions online. Anybody else have any questions for Mike, Kyle? Here.
Oh, yeah. So during the presentation, you were talking about the different command words that you could use to access like your applications, calling this person, whatever. But you also said the words "my application" in the middle of a sentence, and it didn't really register at all.
Yeah, great question.
Yeah, how does that register like that? Like the difference between the two.
So the way that we are leveraging voice is with localized commands, and what it basically is accessibility. Think if you physically didn't have the use of your hands, you could turn on accessibility layers on your phone that allow you to talk to your phone to make selections on screen. It's using a combination of XML, we call it WearML, and WearHF, which is our hands-free sort of overarching interface on top of the Android 13 platform. Basically, any text component in native Android is automatically converted into a speech command. So these buttons here, we didn't have to do anything more. We built out the app with Android. We made a red button that said decline and a green button that said accept, and then we put it on the device, and we put the device on our head, and when we said accept, it does exactly what it would do if I were to tap it. It's about that simple. But it is looking for that little pause before and after. And if I'm just spitballing and saying the things really fast, it's maybe not going to pick that up. So that's intentional.
Anybody else? Awesome. Well, Mike, Kyle, appreciate you guys coming out. Great presentation.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.